Perfect. Oh, good. Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome. I'm so happy to be here with you all this lovely Tuesday morning at the park, and it is gorgeous. And we're so grateful, so blessed to have a cloudy day so that we can practice without getting a suntan or sweating too hard outside. So that's always really nice to have that additional coverage. Well, let's begin. Today is a Yin Yoga class. We hold poses anywhere between 3 to 5 minutes to really deeply release and surrender into the postures and into the experiences that we're having. We're releasing a lot of the energy that we have stored within the body. And this can become very emotional for some, and for others, it might be just exactly what the doctor ordered. So give yourself permission. That's the key, is to give yourself permission to move as steadily and as comfortably as possible. The poses are going to be a little uncomfortable at times, but this is the body's way of reacting to the protection barrier that it naturally has. So that is what their body's doing for the first about 3 minutes. So that's why when we kind of go into that 4th and 5th minute, the body gets the opportunity to discover what it feels like when you just surrender to the pose, when you just release into the experience, as opposed to really holding yourself tight in there. And so while we go through the practice, I'll guide you through these movements so that you can feel a little more comfortable releasing and surrendering. Okay. And then as we progress in the various yin practices that we'll do for the upper body, for the lower body, we'll be able to really go deeper and explore. And we really can get more curious. Please ask as many questions as you like. You can always comment in the chat, or if you have, if you want to send me a message, you can send me a message and we can talk about it on the next group call, or on our Facebook group, or I can do some investigation for you and put together some poses that will work for you. So let's get started, shall we? Let's come on to laying on our backs. And before I get the music flowing and going, we have the harmonium today, so we're going to get grounded. And for those of you practicing with some props that you might have at home, I'll encourage you to utilize maybe a bolster, if you have a bolster, or a thick pillow, okay? Also, a strap is always lovely. It's always nice to have a strap. And then also, if you have blocks, which I don't happen to have with me today, which are very, very necessary tool, utilize your blocks, okay? Chairs are always welcome, and the wall is always welcome. So. And then just allow yourself to melt into a space that feels comfortable for you. And that are coming up right now, as many do come up in the morning, we get our day started. And if you're watching this in the afternoon or in the evening, then just again, allow all of your day or all of the conditions to just kind of release in this space. Settle into your mat, settle into your breath, sacred space. Nice. Relax your hands about 10% more, your arms. Great. Hi, Elenita. Hey, y'all. Good. Great. And you can place a block underneath your knees as well. And that will help to release and drop you into the experience a little bit more. And remember, each of these poses are an experience. You'll be here for about 3 minutes in each pose. So let yourself just melt into it. Take breaks as much as you need to. Nice. And then go ahead and close your eyes once more if they aren't already. We have our live folks joining us, so giving them some time to connect and ground as well. Hi, Stephen. So I have Elenita, and remind me your name? Janelle? Gian. Gian. Just take a grounding breath in and out. Setting an intention for your practice this morning. And with an invitational Om, take your hands to your heart. Or maybe you have one hand on your heart and one hand covering. Inhale for Om. Om. Kindly release the hands. Gentle movements to the body as we open the eyes, coming into conscious body. We're going to make our way into child's pose. Welcome, Stephen. Make this comfortable. You'll be here for just a few moments. For those of you that like to put some grooves on and some tunes on, you can put your own background music on. I'll put some on for y'all here. And then again, deep breath in, extending, reaching through your fingers. And then go ahead and walk your hands over to the right. And as you walk your hands to the right, bring attention to your left hand and start to maybe TP the left hand so that you can push down into the earth and draw your left hip back pretty significantly. You want to open up through the left rib cage here. Drawing your belly button up and in on the exhale. Nice. And just allow your exhales to really tune into a more sensual experience through the body, releasing from the crown all the way down through the tailbone, out through the side body, maybe extending through the right hand. And then coming through center, inhale. Walk the fingers as far forward and then draw your hips back as best you can. Knowing that if you're way up here today, that's fine too. Walk your knees back if you're really high and just push the front of the mat away from you and just stay where you are. So if that's where you are, please honor that. For those a little more open, you're bringing your tailbone as close to your heels as possible. And then we're gonna walk to the left and then really push into that right hand. And bring that right hip back to touch your heel. And then roll the right shoulder down. And then be there for about 5 breaths. And then just kind of add some movement to this experience. If you need to maybe wiggle around in the hips to see if you need to bring the right hip back a little bit more or forward, drawing the left hip. So just discover what that feels like to add your own gentle, subtle movements. Notice how the breath might flow or change in that experience. And we'll come back to center when you feel ready. Inhale. And then exhale as we press back, come forward on the next inhale to tabletop position. Let's just roll out some of the joints. So as we come onto knees, please make this comfortable for your knees. Lift your heels off the ground, your feet, and make some circles. Looking forward, you can close your eyes and then reverse the circles. And then release the feet, maybe tuck the toes, press back, open up the bottoms of the feet. This might be pretty painful for some people, so I would suggest just go to right where your edge is, what that feels like. If you feel comfortable, you can go as far back. You can even walk yourself up and sit on your feet and sustain. Maybe close the eyes here. We'll be here for about 30 seconds. And if your eyes happen to be closed, notice what colors begin to come up for you. Notice how your breath is either constricting or if you can breathe deeper into the sensation of the openness through the toes. Bring attention to your belly button, and as you exhale, draw the belly button in towards the spine. Relax through the ankles, press towards your pinky toe. And then on your next exhale, we're going to come forward. Tabletop position. And press back, child's pose, untuck the toes. And inhale, tabletop, roll through the spine. Take the knees apart for your stability so the knees are parallel to your hips. And then take the right hand forward and make a few rotations with your wrist. And release that down. And then take the left hand up. Release that down. Take the fingers to point towards your knees and start to press your palms down. Maybe you can come back and open up your wrist. You'll be here for 10 seconds. 10 seconds. You can do one at a time if it's very strenuous. 10 seconds is typically about 5 big breaths. Remember, the body's going to start to react in protective mode right about the time you want to come out of the pose. So give yourself just 2 to 3 more breaths longer. And then relax the face, relax the jaw. Slowly turn onto the backs of the hands now. Let the fingers point towards you. You can have kind of like a gorilla arms here that might look, the look. And then just let your chest kind of drip down as you press some weight into the backs of those hands. So it's the counter stretch. And then from this space, we're going to roll back onto our heels, sit back. And if your knees are pretty sensitive, continue to put something underneath your knees like a pillow so that it's softer for you guys at home. And also you can place something underneath your tushy like a block to lift your hips. Have your strap nearby if your shoulders are tight. Otherwise, we're going to interlace the fingers behind us. Reach down through the knuckles, lift the chest, look up. Option 1 will be here. And then you'll exhale to come forward. And if you feel a little more comfortable to tuck your head and bring your head down, you can lift your hips up and come into rabbit pose. And you'll be in that space for about 5 breaths. For those at home, a little more modified, I can help you out with that. We'll be there for 3 more breaths together. See, I sit on the blanket. It's a lot helpful. And then we're going to articulate the spine as we come up on an inhale. Let the arms come up towards the sky. Big open heart, couple circles. And reverse your circles. And give yourself permission to exaggerate this movement. And the hands come back down. We find tabletop position. And let's step the right foot forward between our hands. And if you have sensitive knees, you can always use your blanket. And from this space, we're gonna walk the left knee back quite a bit, just until you feel comfortable, right? You want your ankle and your knee parallel to each other for stability point. Stephen, bring your foot forward a little bit more so your knee's not so far over your toesies. Good. Now from here, square your hips. You want the right hip to come back and the left hip to come forward. So this is gonna work with those of us with torsion pelvis or one hip higher than the other. We're realigning our own pelvic floor without a chiropractor, but I do love you chiropractor friends. Now release your left foot so the top of the foot is on the ground, and then start to come forward. Now for some of you, this is it. You might have a block underneath your left hand and you're gonna be here. We're gonna be here for 2 minutes. 2 minutes. 2 minutes. And so each time, 3 minutes, each exhale gives you permission to go deeper into the pose. So I suggest starting high. And that gives you time to really let your body acclimate to what's going on. Okay? Listen to the cues. You're gonna squeeze through the lower belly. And then let your hips sink a tiny bit forward. If you need to walk your right foot back, walk your right foot back slightly more, but keep your knee and ankle in alignment. Now, if you're comfortable here, stay here. And then close your eyes, soften your gaze. This is opening up through your psoas muscle, which is the muscle that attaches the lower limbs to the upper torso. It is also the muscle that is attached from your lumbar spine, which is why if you suffer from any tightness of back, lower back pain, or any sensitivity there, this is the pose you want to be working on. This will help to strengthen this muscle and alleviate the pain that's going on through the herniated or bulging discs that you might have there. Squeeze your butt. As we come into this next minute, you can bring your hands down to the ground, maybe the right hand to the inside of the right foot. You can press the hands into blocks or into the earth, and then maybe close the eyes and melt a little bit more. Some of you might feel a little more acclimated into going deeper, so you can come to your forearms, but resist the urge to keep your knee swaying out. You want to keep your knee in, touching your arm. You want the knee touching the left arm. I'm sorry, the right arm. And so now we tune into our breath work. So notice how you're breathing, deepen the sound of the breath. Like the plane passing by, it's like the sound of your exhale. If you guys are taking the next variation, you can go ahead, if you haven't already started, to take your forearms down or turn your blocks to the next height. Remember to keep your shoulder and your knee touching. You can take your hands in prayer. Namaskar. You want to give yourself about 15 deep breaths here. That'll be a full minute. Last 30 seconds. And draw the navel in on the exhale and start to pull yourself up. Press your hands in or turn your blocks to a more comfortable height, and we start to move back and forth, coming into our psoas muscle. Lots of organic movement. Offer what you need. And then let's find our way into a downward dog. Tuck the toes. And let's walk our dog, stretching out one leg and then the other, and just notice the difference. Just mindfulness practice. Notice the difference here. And now let's kindly step that left foot forward. Take the right knee down and then walk it back a bit. Just until you're comfortable. It might feel pretty different. All right. And then again, we're going to start to walk our way up that left leg, ensure knee ankle alignment. Look forward, right hip forward, left hip back. Scoop the pubic bone slightly in to start. And then from here, exhale, come forward. Once you find that edge, this is the psoas muscle. It runs right down the front part here in the hip flexor. You can have your hands on your hips, pushing, lifting up through the lower belly. You can push them out away from you. Okay. And then from here, begin to take the journey down. If your hands are on the ground, if you're taking it inside, please note you can walk your left foot out to create more space as well for the hips, and then give yourself permission to drop down. Good. And then untuck the back foot, relax the back foot. Good. Nice. Beautiful. Good. And then as you wish, 3 minutes, begin to discover what feels good for you as you work your way through all of the stuff that's coming up and letting go. And just let your mind wander, get attached to no thought, no thing. Let your body open up slowly and effortlessly. Yesterday we learned about effortless pause, that beautiful pause between the inhale and the exhale. And so as your mind starts to wander and drift, notice the pause between the thoughts instead. If not the breath, at least the thoughts. Notice how you can see how they shift and change as quickly as you're breathing. And then start to notice the pause in between your own breath. And if you're on your blocks, you might be at your tallest height to start, keeping your knee touching your shoulder. "30 seconds before we transition to the next experience or lowering another level. Those of you at home, if you need a little more support and happen to have a pillow cushion or you have a bolster, you can place that bolster right at that groin area so that the hip flexor is resting on the bolster, which is always a nice suggestion. And if we had our blocks, you can do the same here with a nice cork block. Cork blocks are the most supportive. Take it down your next level. Remember, with every exhale, you're drawing your belly button up and in. Notice how your body's reacting and how it wants to come out of the pose. Notice the sensations going on. Notice if you're holding your breath. You can breathe into this experience a little more. It could be pretty emotional, so notice any emotions that are beginning to swirl around for you. Notice the colors that are swirling around through the third eye. This is our last minute together here, so if there's another arm variation you want to play with, you can play with it. If you want to come up, you can come up a little bit more, so just give yourself permission to discover what you need. 40 seconds into it now. Notice where you can soften. The body's trying to react. It's trying to protect you in this space. So give yourself time to learn how to heal. Acknowledge the ripples and see the truth. And you have 15 seconds. And then on the next exhale, we start to place the hands back down onto the ground. We move around, adding organic movements into the body. At least 5 rounds of breath. And when you're ready, go ahead and place the hands down, step back and find downward facing dog. Walk your dog, paddle your feet, and notice the 2 sides of your body now. Notice how maybe they feel a little different. And just adding a little flow in between the holding of our yin poses today. Let's go ahead and step that right foot forward. Either you take the left knee down or you keep it lifted, your choice. We can start with it down and then come up. Reach the arms up. Just take a moment to take all this beautiful energy in. And then on the exhale, release the hands down and step your left foot to meet the right. Come to forward fold. Inhale, hands to shins, look up, halfway lift. Exhale, bow down, reach for opposite elbows, hang out in a ragdoll position and let yourself sway from side to side. And then release the hands back down to the ground. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, step the right leg back. Option, take the knee down to start. And then sweep the arms up and take in all this beautiful space. Exhale, release the hands, step forward, find forward fold. Shake that out, let it go. There we go. And hands to shins, halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, bow forward. Once more, we inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, bow forward. Step back, left leg, knee down. Keep the left hand down, right hand to your thigh, and then start to push down into your thigh and sweep up towards the sky and get a little twist. Now you have an option to stay right here, or you can take your hand to your sacrum and the elbow points up, or you can slide the arm up to the sky into a T arms. So 3 variations, choose your favorite, but keep your toes pointing forward and the heel right behind the toes. You want to keep a nice forward foot, a solid foot. Take 2 more breaths. On the exhale, the right hand takes a journey down to the ground. We'll come into runner stretch, moving back and forth. And then the next time that we come forward, pause, step the left foot to meet the right, forward fold. So giving ourselves a little inversion. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Step that right leg back. Take it down to the earth. Sweep up for a moment, open up. Exhale, release the hands down, right hand down, left arm lifts, or again, thigh or lower back. Please choose one that serves you best. Take a few rounds of breath there. Very nice. And then just tone all the muscles in the body. Learn to squeeze everything up and in. What does it feel like to get really, really active there? We exhale, let that left hand go. Move back and forth in runner stretch. Nice. And then we're going to take a quarter turn to the right. And we're going to come into Malasana, squat pose. In squat pose, this is a nice big hip opener. If your heels are really high off the ground, take your blanket, walk your feet in. If they're here, you're going to want to have yourself on a little blanket so that you can feel comfortable and you're not straining, all right? Everyone else is going to walk their feet in and then bring their butts down towards the ground, elbows to the insides of the knees, and our hearts lifting. Good. If we had our blocks, we can sit on a block, and you can also sit on your blanket if that's comfortable for you. 5 breaths. Lift your chest. Very nice. Good. Let your elbows help to open up those knees so that you can open up your quads. It'll help with the glutes. Nice. You can walk your feet wider if it feels a little uncomfortable. Always give yourself permission to move around. Yep. You can stay higher up, Stephen, if that's better for you. Beautiful. On the 5th exhale, we're going to go ahead and come up to standing star. So push down to rise up, reach the arms up and high. Very, very nice. Good. Widen your legs out just to where your wrists are parallel to your ankles now. It's very good. Very nice. Turn your toes in, heels out. Squeeze the inner thighs. Really activate your thigh muscles here. Like you really want to protect your knees. And then bring your heart forward and bring your butt back like an airplane. Very nice. Reach the hands down to the ground. Good. From this space, we're going to walk over to the right. And for some of us, we're using our blocks and we're really, really high, and that's fine, okay? Start to turn the right foot out slightly, okay? Squeeze the thigh muscle here. Start to bring the upper body more over the leg, and then bringing the right hip back. Left hip starts to go back. You don't want it to come too far forward. Find your way folding over your leg. Remember, we can start very up high. We're going to be here for 2 minutes. For those of you at home that have a wall nearby, you can place your hands on a wall or a chair. I have mine on my thigh, playing with my little ant friend. Bring attention to the lower belly. So as you're exhaling, you're pulling the abdominals in. And as you're inhaling, you're pushing the abdominals forward. When you exhale and you draw the lower belly in, it gives you more space to fold over your leg. So you're drawing the muscles up and then you're folding. So you're moving your organs around here too. If you're dropping lower, this is the time you'll begin to lower down. And remember to keep the spine pretty elongated here. You don't want to be rounding too much into the spine. Begin to soften into your pose a little more. Relax your face, your eyes. We got 30 seconds, that's all. And then start to inhale, walk your way up your leg. Come all the way up, open into star pose. Very nice. Turn the right toes in, turn the left toes out very slightly. Exhale, hinge forward. Nice. Take the hands down to your blocks. Keep long in the spine and then start to walk slightly over to the left. Once you find your edge, push through your right heel and then start to lower yourself down, whether it's over the leg or towards the more middle portion of it. Don't over hyperextend here. From this space, you want to find that right hip pulling back and the left hip pulling forward so that you can have a nice stretch. You can play around with your hand positions, whether that's inside of the foot or outside of the foot, so you're not as to strain. And also remember, you can be really high. If you're up here today, be up here today and be fine with that. And just work on pushing through your heel and lengthening through the upper body. This is totally cool. This is a 2-minute pose. So I would suggest staying up higher and then take the last 30 seconds and go all the way down. So this is a nice, good time to either close your eyes or focus on something in front of you, or maybe focus on a mantra. So, you can hear all of our little animals in the background, but that's just getting those of you ready that are coming to Costa Rica with us, listen to the sounds of the animals in the jungle, which is real sweet. So there you go. You have jungle animals and you have lake animals. Take yourself down a notch here if you feel inclined. Last minute or so here. About 45 seconds really. Give yourself time to melt into the pose, last breath or two. And then let's walk back to center. Drape down, turn the toes in, heels out. And then inhale, push up, rise up, halfway lift. Good, exhale, bow forward. And walk all the way to the front of your mat. Find yourself in child's pose and take 5 rounds of breath. Child's pose. So here we are getting a little mist. A gentle kiss from Mother Earth. I've offered my coffee to the animals of the earth as well. Beautiful. 2 more breaths. One more breath here. And then just roll yourself up to your heels, come to that seat again. Please make this comfortable for you. I suggest keeping the knees as close as possible. Option 1 is here, sitting on the heels. Option 2, tuck the toes. You're sitting on your heels. Meditative or hero's breath. We invite here, and this is Virabhadrasana or Virasana, hero's pose. Inhale, the arms reach up. Take the right hand to the left wrist, get a stretch and tilt over to the right. Inhale, center, switch. Sweep all the way up and take it all the way over to the left. And inhale, come back to center. Release the hands to your thighs, round the spine. Inhale, shoulders roll back. Hands to upper thighs, lift the chest. And round the spine. One more. Back to neutral position. Come to a seated position. Extend the legs out in front of you. Shake everything out, please. Good. Let's go ahead and bring our right leg long and our left knee in, and bring your left foot to the inner thigh. Very nice. Square the hips once more. So if you need to get personal, move the flesh from your tushy so your bones can push into the mat or into the earth. Good. Yeah, your favorite side. It's early. And then from this space, you have the option to take your strap and wrap it around the ball of your foot if that's for you. And then lift up nice and tall and proud. So you want your chest really tall, open up. And then keep walking that right hip back and start to exhale, come forward. And if this is where you are up here today, then just stay right here and take that left hand or right hand down to the ground to stabilize. If you have blocks, you can use the blocks, which is a really useful tool. So you can rest on the blocks as you're pulling your foot towards your face. If you're a little more flexible, you're reaching for your feet, you're bending the elbows, allowing yourself to drape over the leg. Drape over the leg. Perfect. Nice. The use of the belt is exactly a great tool. So belts have so many wonderful uses. Give yourself permission to draw your belly in and go a little further. And then kindly begin to come up. And as you come up, take the left hand down and sweep the right arm up and get a twist. Release that palm back down, come back to center. Right hand down to the inside of your right foot. Inhale, sweep the left arm up. Nice. Flex your right foot. Good. And let's come back to center. So sweet. And then roll yourself up, reach the arms up. Clear the space, exhale. Release the left leg long in front of you and take the right knee in. And then again with your strap, however you like. I hear you, I got no food today. And then nice and tall, we lift. And then start to pull yourself forward. About 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes here. Every morning, that poor wifey's always yelling at her husband, Ducky. It's so cute. That's just the beauty of nature. It's just seeing them pass by and making sure everyone is having a good day. Checking in on everyone. If you're comfortable holding your strap, you can hold your strap or place your right hand down or maybe bend the elbow to come forward slightly. Actively keeping the left hip drawing back, right hip coming forward. And if you're taking it down a notch more, take about 30 seconds here in this deeper space. And then from here, slowly rise up, keeping the right hand down here, open to the left. And then relaxing the left hand down and opening up to the right. And relaxing the palm down. Roll your way up. Inhale. Exhale, hands to heart. Take your feet together, butterfly stretch. And in butterfly, you can massage your feet if you like to give yourself some love there. You can bring your feet together and butterfly your legs. If you prefer Sufi circles, Elenita likes to do her Sufi circles and movements. Allow yourself to explore. And please take all of these experiences to the extent of your level. If you want to go quickly in circles or you want to go softly, if you just want to make neck rolls, if you just want to do some cat-cows and rounding and opening. And for some of you who just want to take your hands behind you and chill out and flap the legs back and forth, you can just do that too. Just all of this energy we have in these hip flexors, just releasing it now, okay? And we're going to make our way down to the mat. So you can extend the legs out nice and long in front of you. Take a moment to pause there. And then roll all the way down to the earth. Sweet. You have the option to bend the knees and take your knees into your chest and hug yourself here. And then maybe rocking from side to side, back and forth. You might even You might even just take your knees over to the left, gaze to the right, and get a side stretch. Supine twist. Stay there as long as you like, and when you're ready, take it to the other side. And when you're ready, make your way into Shavasana for the last few minutes we have together in this practice. Giving yourself as much support as you need. Tools that you need to place underneath you, around you, above you, over your eyes, all the things. Good. For those of us here outside, we get the luxury of getting kissed by the mist of the clouds, the water, the earth. Y'all can hear maybe the gentle pipe letting all the water out. That's creating our own little waterfall here in New Orleans. And then scanning the body once more, and on the next exhale, releasing anything that no longer serves your greater good. Some of you might be tuning into the Samadhi experience. You might be discovering colors and shapes and patterns in the space between the eyebrows as you tune into your Shavasana. On your next breath, kindly begin to wiggle the fingers and the toes. And just take a moment to capture all this energy around you, in you. And on your next exhale, allow it to flow out of your mouth and release it to the universe, to the divine, to God, your source. And any subtle movements you wish to make or remain where you are. So we find ourselves in a space of meditation, honoring our practice and each other. Honoring this time. We close our class together with an invitational Om, letting go of all that is, that was, and that will be. Inhale for Om. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Jai Bhagwan Ki Jai. Namaste. 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 Namaste, family. Thank you so much, everyone. And I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow morning, 8:30. And tomorrow is our gentle flow class. So looking forward to that one. Much love and take care. Your outdoor community says bye as well.